Hi, this is Becky E for B3 Fitness. I'm here with Katie. She is the Princess of Pavement. So she has been a friend of mine since, oh my goodness, high school. So about 16 years. And she's a runner. So I know a lot of you are going to be looking into getting into running as the weather is going to eventually turn. And Katie's here to give us some advice. So Katie, what got you into running in the first place?
When I was in high school, I was the most unathletic person there was. I hated exercise. I had an excuse every time PE class came around. And I was like that for a long time. And then I was talking to someone who was doing a fundraising run, and she was traveling, I think, to Hawaii, and I thought, well, that's cool. Mm-hmm. But I used to make fun of runners because I thought that they were really funny looking when they ran. There's no nice looking runners out there. But I was like, well, maybe I can try that. And I talked to my sister-in-law, and she said, well, let's train for the Sun Run. Mm-hmm. So we signed up for a clinic at the running room, a 5-kilometer clinic, and it turned out I was really good. And my first race was a 5-kilometer race. And I came in third in my age category.
Whoa!
Yeah, so it helps to motivate you when you do well.
Yeah, very true.
So I kept going.
Good, that's awesome. So as far as like investments into this kind of sport, because you always have to put money in somewhere, footwear is obviously going to be a huge priority for you. So what are your favorite shoes? Where do you get them? Give us the goods.
I've gone through a lot of shoes and a lot of different brands and had a lot of issues with different shoes. I went through, there was a fad for a while, and I think it still is now, but the barefoot running thing.
Oh, yeah.
And so I tried those 5-finger Vibram shoes. Didn't work for me. I got injured. And I think because I was training for a half marathon at the time, and it's not advisable to go and run a 5-kilometer run your first time in those shoes.
Okay.
But I found Mizuno's. I'm not sure what number, but the Wave Inspire, and I think I've had probably 8 pairs of those, and I have 3 on the go right now.
All right, so they're your tried and trusted shoes.
Yes.
That's awesome. So as far as like your experience, you've had some pretty great experiences so far. You're wearing the reward of one of those experiences around your neck, which we'll come back to. But tell me about your best and your worst experience running.
Well, I'd say my best race was, well, my best experiences is running with the girls that I run with, because you make a lot of really good friends and connections, and you know, when you click with another runner and you guys are on the same pace, it keeps you going. Sometimes it's hard to motivate yourself. But my best race was this past spring in Toronto. It was the Good Life Toronto half marathon. And I was training for a marathon at the time, so it was technically supposed to be one of my long, slow distance runs. And in my head, I was telling myself that I was going to just go my LSD pace. But as with all my races, I gunned out at the start and kept going and felt great. And I came in that one 2 hours and 20 seconds, and that was my best half marathon time. I cut it down by, I think, 4 minutes from my previous time. And now my goal is to get under the 2-hour mark.
Nice. It's good. Competition with yourself. That's a great way to stay motivated, for sure. And what about your worst experience?
That was my first marathon.
Okay.
2 weeks before the marathon, I fell down the stairs, and I put my hip out, and I was out of alignment, and I'd taken that 2 weeks off prior to the race. I didn't do any running, which is technically a good thing, because then you have more energy on race day. But the first probably 14 kilometers, I felt great. I was smiling, I was having a good time, I was taking in all the atmosphere around me. I was in Portland, and I love Portland, so that was nice. And then I started feeling pain, started with my foot, my shoelaces. It was pouring rain that day. Like it was, I think maybe 5 minutes didn't rain. And I was soaked from head to toe, and my shoelaces were too tight, and I was having issues with those. And then when I figured that out, my knee started to feel pain, and I was miserable, and I had visions of throwing myself in front of the streetcar, and I was not thinking straight, and I have type 1 diabetes as well, and I have to carry all my blood testing stuff with me. And because it was raining so much, it was all wet, and I couldn't get it to work, so I didn't know where my blood sugars were, and it was quite interesting.
Oh my goodness. That does not sound like a good time. But you know what I love about that story? You talk about smiling for the first 14 kilometers. Can you explain the difference between a half marathon and a marathon?
Well, when you train for a half marathon, you run up to 19 kilometers, and a half marathon is 21.1 kilometers. So you only have 3 kilometers more, 2 kilometers more to run.
Okay.
But when you train for a marathon, generally you're only running up to 32 kilometers. So you still have another 10 kilometers to go, and a lot of people think, well, 10 kilometers is nothing, especially for a long distance runner, but that last 10 kilometers, it's hell. You have mental issues, you have visions, you start talking to yourself. At one point, I started singing to myself, and I was singing Bon Jovi. I'm halfway there.
Nice.
And people are just staring at you, but it's a mental battle.
Yeah, for sure.
More than a physical battle, I would say.
Yeah, we've talked a little bit in the past about what you do to keep yourself going as you're running, and I know music is one of your big things. So what are some of your favorite things on your playlist?
Well, there's a lot of Eminem because of the beat, but the angriness too. Like that is on for sure. When I was in a lot of pain for that Portland marathon, and I was thinking that I was going to have to quit. As soon as the Eminem song came on, I can't even remember when it was, but it was the beat, and I just got into the groove of it, and it kept me going.
Nice.
I like Kanye West as well. I like Bon Jovi.
It's okay.
It has to be upbeat, fast music.
Yeah.
I can't have any slow music. Like I like to listen to Sheryl Crow, but not when I'm running.
Okay.
And but there's times too. Like my second marathon, it was the first 24 kilometers were great. After that, I decided I didn't like running marathons. But I couldn't listen to any music because little things were annoying me, and the music was one of those things. I couldn't listen to it anymore.
Interesting. So as far as your own training regime, because I know you try to keep it like well balanced, you try to keep it well rounded. So what do you do to train overall?
When I first started training for half marathons, all I did was running. And I was on the running room plan, and that was, I think it was 5 days of running, and it was a lot of kilometers, and I was getting injured. And so the last few races I have incorporated, I generally go 6 days a week. I've incorporated Pilates, cycling. In the summer I'll do hiking. I do aqua jogging in the pool, which I don't like the pool germs, but aqua jogging is great, and it really helped with my endurance.
Yeah.
Because I got injured before my last marathon, and I couldn't run for, I think it was 4 or 5 weeks, and I was doing a lot of cycling and aqua jogging. When I came off of that, I was a lot faster than I was before. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so if you were going to give advice to somebody else who was wanting to get ready for, say, the Sun Run, so the Sun Run is usually in April, what would they have to look at doing over the next few months to get ready for that?
Well, I would say if you're a first-time runner, figure out a plan. Like there's a lot of things. You don't have to go to a clinic or anything. There's a lot of things available online, but I would give yourself 2.5, 3 months to build up, because you're going to start out really slow. You're going to run for a minute and walk for 30 seconds, and then run for another minute, and build your way up till you can run for 10 minutes.
Right.
But I wouldn't go out thinking that you can run the 10 minute, run for a 10 kilometer just like that, because that's your way you're going to get injured.
Okay. So just taking the time, building it up.
Yeah, I think the thing with the sun run, it's good because there's, well, if you're not claustrophobic, it's good, like there's lots of people there.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, it's not really a race that you're going to get a great time at. So you can just have fun with it and, you know, try and go pace yourself.
Right, okay. So let's talk about what's around your neck. So that probably was one of your better experiences.
Well, the end part was, my last race was a month and a half ago in San Francisco. It was the Nike Women's Race, also known as the Tiffany's Race. And Tiffany sponsors it. And they give you, if you complete, everyone a necklace, a Tiffany's necklace. And what girl doesn't want a Tiffany's necklace? And and you don't know what you're getting. They change it every year. And so when I found out about this race about a year and a half ago, I had made it a goal to do it, but it's a lottery system, and so you don't know if you get in. Like it's capped at 25,000 people, which is a lot of people. Yeah. So you just put your name in and hope for the best. So a group of my girlfriends and I, we put our names in, and we got in. So
nice.
I got the necklace. And San Francisco is a beautiful city, very hilly. It was my slowest half marathon I've ever done because there were a lot of walkers. But when you complete, you are given the blue Tiffany's box, Robin's egg blue, and by a fireman. He's not dressed as a fireman. That would be better. But it's nice.
Nice, that's awesome. What a great experience. Well, thank you so much for joining me tonight. If you're ever looking for any more information on running, you can definitely check out her blog, Princess of Pavement, at WordPress.
Princess of Pavement. Well, you can go to princessofpavement.com.
There you go. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you soon.